Hello and welcome to a NISA Europe online store video. Today we'll be showing you more Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk, a new dungeon crawling RPG that is currently available on the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch and Steam. In our previous video we covered dungeon preparation and character creation, but this time we'll be heading into the Labyrinth to take a look at exploration, combat and some of the abilities you'll be using while exploring the dungeons. In Labyrinth of Refrain, your main objective is to continuously explore and discover new secrets within the labyrinth and its multiple dungeons. But the further in you go, the more deadly and unpredictable it can become. Your caravan is your base of operations in Labyrinth of Refrain. When you're not exploring, most of your time will be spent here preparing your brigade for their next journey. From the dispatch menu, you can check your starting location, check the minimum rank of the enemies you'll find, view the reinforcement cost required to enter a dungeon, and check the mana density of the area. Mana is a valuable resource in Labyrinth of Refrain that can be used to upgrade your equipment, unlock new features, and learn helpful abilities. You gain mana by finding concentrated mana masses, by harvesting it from special locations indicated by the green mana wall icon on the map, or by winning battles. Once you unlock the alchemy pots, you'll even be able to extract mana from unneeded items. Harvesting mana from walls and collecting concentrated mana can restore a small amount of your reinforcement, which is the resource required for using abilities within the labyrinth. So if you want to increase the amount of time you can spend in a dungeon, gathering mana in this way will be important. Your item drop rate is also influenced by the mana you collect in a dungeon. Collecting mana increases your item drop rate, which is displayed at the top left corner of the screen. The higher your item drop rate becomes, the more likely you are to find rarer items. Gathering mana does come with a lot of benefits and is necessary for strengthening your brigade, but your journey can end in misfortune if the mana you have within the labyrinth is higher than the area's mana density. The fastest way to make your character stronger is through equipment upgrades. You can't buy weapons or armor in Labyrinth of Refrain, so if you want better equipment, you'll need to earn it. You can earn equipment by defeating enemies, discovering treasure, helping the dungeon's inhabitants with their problems, or by completing the requests of the townsfolk. Dungeons are full of obstacles that stand between you and your destination. When you enter a dungeon for the first time, your map will only show your current location and a few points of interest. It won't show you how to reach them, so it's up to you to explore the dungeon and find the best way there. The path to your next objective won't always be as straightforward as it seems, but the map will mark the areas you've previously visited to make traveling easier. There are a few abilities that you can use to aid you on your journey through the labyrinth. If you'd rather take a more direct approach to dungeon navigation, you'll be able to create your own path after learning the wall breaker skill. With Wall Breaker, you can break your way through any of the destructible walls in a dungeon, enabling you to create your own shortcuts. This isn't something that can be used all the time though, since each use of Wall Breaker will consume 5 reinforcement. Wall Breaker is a very convenient skill that can be used to discover secrets within the labyrinth, but this convenience still has its risks, since you never know what will be waiting for you behind a wall. Enemies are lurking around every corner in the labyrinth. On the field they're displayed as enemy symbols and you won't know exactly who your opponents will be until the battle starts. The red enemy symbols are for normal enemies, but the purple ones contain powerful enemies that should be avoided unless you're confident your brigade is strong enough to handle them. On a few occasions you might come across rare enemies with a unique appearance, or enemies that look the same as the ones you're used to but have a special name. Named enemies can be challenging to defeat, but if you manage to win you'll be rewarded with large amounts of experience. Rare enemies will give you a lot of experience too, but they also have a chance to reward you with items that contain powerful souls. Red enemy symbols tend to roam around the dungeons freely, but the purple symbols are usually stationed in fixed locations or patrol a specific route. If an enemy discovers you, it will hunt you down, but some enemies will try to escape if they notice they're no match for your brigade. You can sneak up on enemies that are unaware of your presence and surprise them before they have a chance to react. If you engage an enemy that doesn't notice you, they can become startled, giving you the advantage at the start of battle. But the same could be said if an enemy manages to sneak up behind you. Your puppet soldiers may be too surprised to react, and this could put you at a huge disadvantage if a powerful enemy notices you first. There are a few things you can do to avoid being detected. Usually enemies will only move while you're moving, but if you press the standby button you can wait in your current location for a turn, allowing the enemies to move on their own. Enemies can still notice you while you're using standby, but after learning the Silent Steps ability, you can press the hide button and attempt to avoid detection. If you need a more reliable way to avoid detection, eventually you'll learn how to use the Fog Veil skill. This skill will consume some reinforcement to conceal the brigade from enemy detection for a short time. This is a very useful skill that can be used to sneak your way through dungeons, but being able to avoid detection doesn't necessarily mean your journey will be easier. You can hide from enemies and you can conceal your presence, but no matter what the situation is, once you make contact with an enemy symbol, a battle will begin.
Time to go to work.
The goal of a battle is to defeat the enemies while keeping your brigade members alive. You can command your covens to attack the enemy with their weapons, use their Donum abilities, command them to defend themselves with Fortified Coven, and if an enemy is too strong, you can attempt to escape from the battle. Formations won't be available as soon as the game begins, but eventually you'll be able to use them to gain additional enhancements during battle. Formations boost the stats of your brigade members, and the stats that are changed will depend on how your covens are positioned. If all covens in the brigade are moved to the vanguard, the formation will become all-out attack. This formation increases your brigade's attack, critical rate, and speed. But if the covens on either side of the brigade are moved from the vanguard into the rearguard, the formation will change to advance. This formation gives all covens in the vanguard increased attack and all covens in the rearguard increased evasion. You can freely move your covens between the vanguard and rearguard when it's your turn in battle, but before you move them you'll need to be aware of how your weapons will function. Certain weapons will only perform well in the vanguard and others only in the rearguard, but there are a few that will work in both positions. Hammers, katars, swords and scythes are weapons that will perform best at close range in the vanguard. Crossbows and bells are weapons that are more suited to the rearguard, and lamps and lances are versatile weapons that can perform well in both positions. If a character's weapon isn't a good match for where his coven is placed, the performance of that weapon will be reduced. During battles, the power source meter is displayed at the top left corner of the screen. Power source is the energy of the battlefield, and is shared between your brigade and the enemy. Damage dealt from both sides during a battle can charge the power source meter. As the power source increases, the amount of mana you can earn at the end of the battle will be multiplied, and attack resonances are more likely to occur. An attack resonance is a chain of attacks that increases in damage the longer it continues. Attack resonances can begin when a brigade member uses a basic weapon attack. Other brigade members that use a normal attack within the same turn have a chance to join the resonance chain, and as a result the damage multiplier in each attack will rise. Donum can also benefit from the power source through the use of Donum echoes. Similar to a resonance, all uses of Donum including the enemies can trigger an effect that will empower the Donum used after it. The Donum is empowered by consuming some of the power source, and the power multiplier will increase each time Donum is used during the echo. Attack resonances and Donum echoes can be a huge benefit when it comes to winning a tough battle, but always remember that the enemy may also benefit from something you find useful. All critical hits have a chance to deal a devastating blow that can destroy body parts, and when this happens it's called a critical gore. Along with destroying body parts, a critical gore can reduce the maximum health of a target and reduce its stats. If your characters get hit with a critical gore, they can still fight with missing limbs, but if their head is destroyed, they will be unable to participate in battle. Continuing to explore when your brigade members have missing body parts can be dangerous, but you can repair any missing body parts in your caravan once you return from a dungeon.
I'll repay you on the battlefield.
Critical gores can catch you off guard at times, but there are a few things that you can do to protect yourself. When an enemy is preparing a dangerous attack, a red exclamation point will appear over their head. You can command your covens to defend themselves before the attack begins, or you can issue more specific commands to each character. For the most part, you'll be issuing commands to a coven, but eventually you'll gain access to special orders that can be used to issue specific commands to each character within a coven. You can order them to fight, to switch their main weapon, make them defend, replace them with the support members of the coven, or make them use items. The main benefit of special orders is to have a single coven perform multiple actions. You can have one unit in a coven attack and another use a healing item, but special orders consume your reinforcement, so it's not something you can do all the time. Reinforcement can also be used to buff your characters during battle. By spending reinforcement, you can increase the attack or defense of individual characters to give them an extra boost on their turn. Reinforced defense can be used outside of combat to heal characters, remove status effects, or to resurrect characters that have lost all their health. Resurrecting characters with reinforced defense has a higher reinforcement cost, so it's not something you should always rely on. Once a battle is complete, a reward screen will be displayed, showing the experience points earned, the mana gained, any items that were obtained from enemies, and you're given the option to stockpile experience. In Labyrinth of Refrain, you can stockpile your experience points after battles to increase the amount you can earn. After each battle is over, you can choose to obtain the experience points earned, or you can stockpile it for later. If you choose to stockpile it, you can continuously save the experience you gain after each battle to increase its multiplier. When you finally decide to claim your stockpiled experience points, you'll be rewarded with a bonus based on the amount of times you decided to stockpile. There are many benefits to stockpiling experience. It can be used to level your brigade quickly, or you can use it to hold onto experience points for party members that may need it later. But just like many things in Labyrinth of Refrain, stockpiling experience points can be risky. Abilities that automatically recover your brigade's health after battles won't work while you're stockpiling experience. And if you flee from battle, return to your caravan before claiming the stockpile, or if your brigade gets wiped out, you'll lose all the unclaimed experience. There are a few ways you can leave the labyrinth and return to your caravan safely, but you may need to sacrifice a portion of the mana you've collected. If you use the Mud Exit ability to create an exit portal, or the Witch's Belt item from your inventory, you can leave a dungeon instantly. You'll keep all the items and experience you've gained while in the dungeon, but you'll lose a portion of the mana you collected on your trip. If you want to return home with all your mana and items, you can return to the entrance of a dungeon or use an antechamber. Antechambers are mysterious doors that can be used to travel around the labyrinth. After you've found an antechamber, you can use it to transport yourself to another that you've previously discovered. You'll need to explore to find where antechambers are hidden, but once you've found one, you can use it to leave the dungeon. When you decide to exit a dungeon, your characters will recover their health and donum points, and you'll be presented with an exploration results screen. This screen will show the amount of mana and experience earned, any mana lost from a safe exit, information about your puppet's damaged body parts, and any items lost if your brigade is killed and forced to return to the caravan. There are a lot of risks that you can take in Labyrinth of Refrain to increase the rewards you can earn, but you need to make sure your brigade is prepared for all the challenges that await you. Next time we'll head back into the caravan to show you how you can strengthen your brigade. Labyrinth of Refrain Coven of Dusk is available now on the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch and Steam. On our online store we sell both the standard edition with a softcover art book and an exclusive limited edition collector's box for the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. This collector's box contains a 2-disc original soundtrack, a 4-lapel pin set, a hardcover art book with a metal bookmark, a deck of tarot cards, and a copy of the game. Check the link in the description to visit our store. And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest NISA Europe information, our social media links can be found in the description box too. To be the first to know when our next video is available, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you'll receive our updates. And if you know anyone that would be interested in playing Labyrinth of Refrain Coven of Dusk, share this video with them so they can see what it's like. The third and final part of our Labyrinth of Refrain video series will be coming soon. Let us know what you think of the game so far in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next NISA Europe online store video.